Good morning. Welcome to third grade math on this Thursday morning. Hopefully this is all going well and going smoothly for you. I did get looked at your assessments and things, and just a couple of things you need to make sure that you're doing your cent sign and your dollar sign. Remember that the dollar sign comes first when you're writing the amount, and the cent sign comes last when you're writing cents. But make sure you label those answers if it's a money problem. If it's a word problem, make sure you label your answer properly. All right, so for today, I just want you to remember that math directs us to look at our Heavenly Father and appreciate His characteristic of never changing, that He is always the same today, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And our math, the problems may change, and what we use it for may change, but the fact that 1 + 1 = 2 will never change, and we can depend on that, just as we can depend on our Heavenly Father to do what He has said He is going to do, and we can trust that. So our objectives for today for lesson 101, I believe. Let me double check that. Oh, lesson 102, because I'm videoing the day before, so I sometimes get a little confused. So lesson 102, and our objectives, I'll even write 102. Add money amounts to $99,999. And I have my dollar sign first, okay? And if I was to write 79 cents, I would put my cents sign afterwards. Only when I write cents does the cents sign come last. When I write dollar amounts, the dollar sign comes first. And then we're going to practice writing amounts in the form of checks. So I think you should have a worksheet with blank checks on it. You can write all of your checks to Mrs. Harrison. I would greatly appreciate that. Or actually, in this case, we're going to be talking about electric company. So you could write it to Bluebonnet Electric if that's who you use. I think that's pretty much who everybody uses. Not sure. But anyway, so let's move on over here. Now, everybody, I sent home graph paper because we're going to be doing addition of large numbers, and we've used this graph paper, so it should be familiar to you. I want it nice and neat. If it is a number 1 and number 2, I want you to number it as number 1, number 2, and circle it so that I know that you are numbering it. Make it nice and neat on the graph paper. Put the lesson number at the top, title it, put your name on it. All these things you have to keep up. Just because you're homeschooling doesn't mean you stop doing that. I know you're the only one in the third grade math class at home, but when it comes to Mrs. Harrison, I have 6 in this case. I have 6 papers come to me, and I need to be able to know whose is whose. I need to be able to make sure you're pressing down fairly well, because if I print it off, I can't read it if it's too light. Okay, so make sure you're pressing down and nice and neat. I don't want to have to guess at numbers. Y'all need to slow down. We're not doing all the extra things that we would be doing in school, so you have the time. Slow down and do it nice and neat, and do it correctly for me, please. All right, so let's say I have 2 bills from Bluebonnet, which would not make me very happy. I had 2 bills, but one of them, which is for a lot of money here, is for $3,792.40. That's how I would read that dollar amount. And you see my decimal separates. And when you write on your graph paper, if you want to make the decimal have its own square, that helps you. That works too. Just remember you carry that decimal down. And then I have another bill for $1,480.65. Now, I only want to write one check. So how am I going to know how much to write that check for? Yes, we're going to add them together. So I don't have to put a dollar sign for my second amount, but I'm going to show that I'm going to add it by putting a plus sign. And then I need my line going across to show that that's kind of like your equal sign when you're doing math vertically like that. All right, so where do we start when we're adding numbers? With do we start in the thousands, the 10,000s? No, we're going to start over here in our money, the pennies side, okay? We always start on this side, because if we have to share with our neighbor, we need to be able to move that direction. If I started here, I can't move this direction, can I? So 0 plus 5 is 5. 4 plus 6, it is 10. Now that number requires 2 digits to form that number. Can I put 2 digits in that place? No, I can't. So I'm going to keep the 0. Go ahead and bring down your decimal. And I'm going to carry that 110 to, actually the 10 dimes, because this represents our dimes, right? Because we're talking money. 10 dimes would be the same as $1. So I'm going to move that $1 to the ones place. 1 plus 2 plus 0 is 3. 9 plus 8. Remember, I'm going to think 1 less than this and put my 1 in. Can I do that? No, I can't do that. So I'm going to keep the 7 and I'm going to carry the 1. Okay, so I had 3 ones and then I added my 10. So this is actually 17 tens. I'm going to keep the 7 tens and carry the 100 to the 100s place. Then I have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then, so do I write the 12 down? No. So I'm going to keep the 2, and I'm going to carry that plus 1. So 3, 4, 5. Now, I also need my comma, okay? 'Cause I have 1, 2 places here. Don't, remember the decimal is its own thing. That's change. It's not involved with the dollars, okay? So, when I read that, I'm going to read it $5,273.05. All right, so how are we going to write that in words? So I'm going to write 5. Remember, we're doing thousands, so we have to make sure we can spell that correctly. So we have 5,000. Now I have a comma after that 5, so I'm going to put one in my writing. 5,200. Just how I'm saying it is how I'm going to write it. 73. Now that's a tens and a ones place, so I'm going to see if there's the right one. $73. Okay. And then remember, you can write and, or we can do the little and sign. That decimal, remember, is and. And we're gonna do, this is 5 over 100. 5 pennies over 100 pennies. And I ran out of room. So normally it would be after the and, okay? All right, so that's how you're gonna write the problems out. See how much time, yeah, I'm gonna have to go. So give that a whirl, try that I'm gonna give you an amount to write on your checks real quick, okay? So that I want you to practice writing it on the checks. So I want you to write out $3,492.50 on your own. So write it out and do it on the check and practice it for yourself. Practice writing this amount also on a check and then check it to see if you're correct, okay? I'm trying to figure out how to do this best, be able to help y'all with practice with what I've taught. So it'll get better, hopefully. Enjoy your math. I think you have, let me see. I gotta stop saying the word. So you have worksheet 102, A and B. You have a timed worksheet, 1 minute and 15 seconds. Practice flashcards for times 3 and times 6. And if you're doing the extra math, give it a whirl. It'll help you get faster. Or do your flashcards and time yourself on those. Okay? All right.